Good morning, Kim Burney. Cheers.
Good morning. Cheers. Did you want to like smash mugs together?
For
like,
real cheers. Like you can just say cheers.
Like we're gonna break them, right?
Yeah.
No.
Let's do it. So this is our first video. I think we're gonna call it Gray Matters. Of course, you can't see that he's gray, but right now.
We'll just trust and believe it. So. This is not.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got gray there.
Yeah.
We were thinking both gray, as in we're old, and then gray matter, as in, use your gray matter.
Should we say old, or we have gray hair?
Oh, that's better. I like that. Yeah. That's the only reason, right?
Yeah. I mean, once you start using, old.
Right. Yeah, we're already worried that we're seeing a little ageism around here.
We're battling ageism as it is.
You're right. I should not add that narrative in, like it's a thing. So
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. So what's on your mind this morning?
I'm old. I mean, there's absolutely nothing on my mind.
Wait a minute. We just said we weren't going to do that.
Said I'm battling ageism. Say from outside forces.
Oh. It's not just external, it's an internal ageism. Is that what's happening?
It's an internal battle.
Okay. Well, what else has been, this morning we were talking about, the worries of the world and what food is going to look like this summer. And
Yeah.
of course, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I read an article this morning. Farmers are worried that they're not going to get their funding that they usually get.
Their government subsidy type things to help them with planting or
Help them with planting.
whatever. Yeah.
A lot of them are receiving health care benefits, and they use those that government funding to help them hire for the season.
Wow. And then will there be anybody to hire for the season, I'm assuming, is concerned as well.
Yeah.
Well, so, oh my gosh, it's hot in here. Kim's never hot. I'm always hot.
I'm never hot. It's always cold.
I think it's always hot. But anyway, yes, we were talking about that and, the nature of how scary that must be for farmers. But also as a consumer of food, it makes me wonder if we shouldn't prepare in some way, do something different. We don't really have the space to grow food, nor the skills to grow food. And then we were just talking about, should prepare and get canned food or frozen food or, all those things that sound very extreme.
I think people should have prepared before this. They should have watched all the dystopian movies.
Like you have?
Yeah.
But we're still not prepared. You've watched them. You've prepared mentally-ish for them.
Right. I know what to do.
Yeah, your solution is never a thing that makes me think we're going to, live well.
I've watched Mad Max.
Oh my goodness. But anyway, more locally, more immediate in our world, what is on your agenda today? Are you doing any art today?
I work on art every day.
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
In some form or another.
Whether
it's emails about art or
my emails get creative, so that's art too. No, seriously, I haven't mapped out my day.
Okay.
It's Sunday, and I would like a little breather. Been working on emails all week. I've painted some, and then I painted over some. Yeah.
That's a frustrating week when you paint it and paint and paint it over.
Paint it and then paint over it.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, as artists, that's like a, a thing you don't hear people talk about real often, and I think when you're becoming an artist, when you're thinking, can I do this full time? I think so much of the time I notice people are really critical about their own art, and then often that sort of blocks them from doing it, but knowing that, and you say it all the time, like, it's just paint, you can paint over it,
Right, there are no mistakes, you paint over it.
Right, and I've seen you be able to, like, correct a mistake and it not look like you corrected the mistake, which I think is, like, that does not seem to work that way for me. You're really good at that, sort of envisioning what's wrong and then how to fix it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm more like, I just gotta paint over the whole thing and just start over versus trying to fix it, because it seems like sometimes when I try to fix it, it just gets worse.
Well, there are some things I paint and I may not like certain things on the canvas, and other things I love about the painting. And I'm going to keep those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of analyze it in that way, and it's like, well, I don't want to lose that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just build a entirely different painting.
Right. But that's some vision to be able to sort of see it in the middle of it to shift it, That's kind of interesting that you can do that.
Thanks.
But yeah. So are you going to work on that painting today, or you think when you say take a break, does that mean not painting, or does
No, it doesn't mean I'm not going to paint. I find myself. We talked about this that there's no such thing as multitasking.
Right.
It's from one task to the next task to the next task.
Right.
I don't want to have so many tasks on my plate today.
Okay. So a break just from that moving from one thing to the other the other.
I don't want to have to run errands. If I don't have to, I think I took care of that.
Right.
Outside. I don't want to sit back and watch TV shows either.
No, that never feels like a break to me, I don't think.
That's not a break for me.
Yeah, I think sometimes you and I have different ideas of breaks, but everybody does, right? Like, because we are artists and because we are sort of creating and thinking all the time, we don't have like a normal schedule where we're just working 9 to 5 on Monday. It often for me, I feel like we don't have a day off, which sometimes gets to me. I feel like there's not a day where I just have nothing. But even if there's a day I have nothing, it's not going to be a day I have nothing, because, we're humans, and like you said, we have to run errands or clean the house or, do the things. But
sure. Well, the weekend comes around, and it's just because it says weekend, it doesn't mean there's nothing to do.
Right.
It's just the week's end.
Right.
And next week, we have things to do.
Right.
And
deadlines to meet.
So if a deadline is on Monday or Tuesday, we're working on it Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
To start the new week.
Right.
So the week's end is just finishing up things that you have to prepare, or getting things prepared for the new week.
Right. Yeah. So my agenda, my break, is that I'm going to go walk today, because it's going to be a whopping 43 degrees and the sun is shining.
Way too cold.
I'm going to get myself outside in some fresh air. So that's on my agenda today.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been that ambitious or athletic that I have to. Don't get me wrong. I played a lot of basketball in the street, but these days it's cold outside. So.
It is cold outside, but I'll have a hat and gloves, so I'm just gonna go. It's worth it to me to brave the cold to get some fresh air. This time of year is rough in Kentucky. It's not a lot of sunshine, so it's yeah. So I'm gonna try to do that today, and of course I have notes to do for work, and but I would like to paint. Painting painting feels like a break for me a lot of times. So I'm hoping to get on a painting today. I've had one back there with a background on it forever, and I think I don't love the background, so it hasn't motivated me to come in and do the next layer of it. So that's where I am. And that's what I noticed about myself. When there's, you were like, I paint it over and paint it over. For me, when I don't like it, sometimes instead of painting over, I just get away from it, and then I notice I'm like avoiding it instead of, which I could put a different canvas on the, on the easel. I could start something different, but for some reason, it feels like oh no, you haven't finished that one, and then if I don't like it, I just don't even want to finish it. So
that's important. Get away from it, walk away from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's much like relationships. No.
What are you trying to say, kid?
Come back with some new eyes. Hey, I really into this right now.
Is that a distance makes the heart grow fonder kind of thing? You got to give some separation to.
Yeah.
Wow. So what are you trying to say, kid?
Oh, but seriously about the painting. Yeah, I definitely believe that you have to.
Nice segue to change of topic.
Yeah. I don't know about the starting. I think it depends on how I feel. The starting a new painting,
Yeah.
another canvas.
Oh, right, when you haven't finished the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen you do that and have a few things started.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can say that that's what I do. I have taken paintings and I've shelved them.
Yeah. Yeah, it got to a point where you're just like, don't love it, but I don't know why, so I'm going to put it up here. Yeah.
And then, like the one jazz trio piece.
You've worked on several times. Yeah.
Several times. Yeah. It gets shelved and then I work on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've done that too, where I'll, something's been sort of like, I just feel kind of about it, and then later I'll be like, that needs another layer on top, and then I end up loving it. Sometimes I think it does take a while for the ideas to kind of marinate or to come to you in a certain way. My problem is though, like where I am right now, is it's not just like taking a break that I need; it's like avoiding it. I'm like, no, that's not a good space because then. Yeah, because then I go days without painting, and then that never feels good. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to either just take a painting I don't like off the easel and be like, I'm gonna look at that later, which would make that to me makes the most sense to do, or go in there and alter it in some way and see. But I think for me, probably that what you said, shelving it would be a better strategy for me than just leaving it on the easel and walking past it and grimacing every time I look at it.
I think one of the things I have on my agenda today is clean my glasses. Looks even colder. It's all foggy and snowy. So, you have a show that you're dropping off artwork today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Besides.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's on my agenda too. See?
Yeah,
just like put that off my list. Yes, I have to wire the back and take it into an art show at the Lugart Studios today. They're doing a Women of Lugart show, and so I've got one piece in of my snowy trees. So
more snow.
More snow. Yes. Yes. So. So I have to drop that off today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good
That's
for
the
you.
only thing I can think of that we have to do today.
Yeah, I don't have to wire my paintings for an upcoming show yet. The show isn't until April, and I don't have to drop the paintings off until March.
Okay, that's when we have to go to Louisville to the
Yes.
Kentucky African American Heritage Center.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. That's gonna be cool.
I'm looking forward to that show. And I've learned that I don't have to have large pieces, like I've have this I've have this appreciation now for smaller paintings, and I'm thinking, for a few years, oh, I've got to get bigger, I've got to get bigger, I've got to get bigger, and I really don't. Some of the most incredible paintings in the history of human history
are smaller
are
pieces.
smaller pieces.
True, that's true.
Mm.
You're right. I think it tends to. Sometimes I notice that people, it's almost like extremes. They'll do like the tiny art, like the small pieces, or they want these pieces that are, as big as the whole wall.
Yeah, I mean, not that I don't want to.
Oh no, I love those. Yeah, those ones that are big as the whole. That's like a dream to have a studio that you just have giant canvases and
definitely. Yeah.
Or just hang some canvas on the wall and just paint. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would be.
Paint hits the floor. Hits the wall.
Oh yeah, that definitely appeals to me. Like all those things you see online, because I'm a messy painter. Like we talk about all the time. You can paint and something looks nice and not get paint on you.
Sometimes
I will have paint if there's not paint in my hair, I'm not really working. That's the way I work. But so it really appeals to me, those ones where they're just like slinging paint and and just have these big giant, almost like mop looking things that they're painting across. Like I love that sort of stuff. So that to me feels like it would be fun to do.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should figure out a way to do that.
Yeah, I have this thing for having a big brush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We bought a couple of larger ones, but we still haven't. Well, I've seen people lately like put several flat brushes together. Yeah, and then and then paint one, or you see them use something other than a brush, using like a mop. I saw somebody, or not a mop, a broom, like one of those big push brooms. I saw somebody use one day.
I found. Look, I don't know everything about painting, of course. I find out things, as I go.
Right.
It's like something that should have been simple. It should have been found out years ago. It's like I run into it and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is great. So we use a lot of tube paint versus jars or cans. And I was painting the other day and I had to cover up a painting. And I have a jar of paint that I decided to use because I just didn't want to waste a tube of paint. I would have used the whole entire, couple ounces of, few ounces of paint doing so. So I said, okay, let me get this jar out and paint this, and it was a brush that you purchased for me. Yeah. It was a gift. And
you're welcome.
Yeah, it's about that. It's about that wide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and I'm using this brush and I'm using this jar of paint, and I'm like, oh, I'm covering so much of this canvas. Right. And I'm thinking
so much faster. Yeah,
so much faster, versus some of the work that I do, regardless of the fact that it's really, sort of an expressionism style, that I can still be using a very thin,
small brush.
Yeah. However, I might have to venture out and
do some really bold. I mean, your paintings always, to me, have sort of a bold feel because of the stroke or the color. But you're right; you could get some big swatches of color.
So we need a trip to the art store.
We always need a trip to the art store.
It's always a good day with a trip to the art store.
Right? Yeah. See, but you just said you didn't want to run any errands.
No, I don't.
So maybe we'll do a trip to the art store tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Well, are you almost finished with your coffee?
I am.
Me too. Me too. We better figure out some breakfast.
All right.
Okay. Thanks for joining us.
Peace.